Many times we get the question, when should I start studying for the GMAT? And there are a bunch of sort of timelines that we can talk about, and we'll talk about in this video. But the short and not entirely cutesy funny answer is right now. Ultimately, the longer you spend honing, practicing a skill, the better, more fluent, more capable you're going to be at performing that skill. So if you're thinking about the GMAT, the best time to begin is right now. That doesn't mean that you need to formally begin studying, but what it does mean is that small doses of familiarization with the exam, how it's structured, what its challenges are going to be for you personally, can pay massive dividends later on in your study plan. So to get to the nitty-gritty, how much time do I really need? We like to recommend about 3 months for an average candidate. And I know you hear horror stories on the internet about people studying 6 months, a year, 2 years. They pick it up, they put it down. And rest assured that if you're studying well and you're doing high-yielding self-prep and have the right support behind you, that should never be necessary. Some people don't get it on their first try for sure. And the largest reason for that isn't lack of preparation. It tends to be anxiety or another performance issue. Someone coughing in the testing room or something like that. But 3 months is a good timeline to hang your hat on. And if you want to think about it in a broader sense, or you want to do it with the luxury of being able to put it down for a few days here and there while still maintaining the cadence of your prep, give yourself 4, 5, 6 months. It's totally fine, but a really important point here is that we don't want to overstudy or over-prepare for this exam. When beginning to prepare for the GMAT, the most important thing that I can recommend is that you don't think of it as a finite task, as something that can be completed, or of a checklist of things that you need to know. This exam isn't about your knowledge. The knowledge is important. Having mathematical fundamentals, having a sense of grammar are vital to success on the exam, but that's not really what you're studying. So begin by defining the process, not by what you need to know, but how well you need to apply it. I like to use a craft as an analogy here. So if you're a woodworker, for example, you might begin learning all the different types of wood, oak and elm and yew and beech and maple. And you might learn how they're best used and how to use all the tools in the shop, the saws and the hammers and everything. But that doesn't make you a good woodworker or a good carpenter. What does is practicing with those tools. And you can spend plenty of time learning about the woods without ever picking up the tools, picking up the wood, and actually making something. It's the making that does it. And so most of your GMAT prep time shouldn't be reviewing the fundamentals. It should be practicing making the birdhouse, the picture frame, whatever it is that you're going to make in the wood shop. What this means is that you shouldn't look for perfection in your fundamental knowledge. You should do a general review, but then focus on using it. And understand which tools, which bits of knowledge, which equations, formulas, grammatical rules you have a good amount of proficiency with, and which ones that feel clunky. Building on that, you'll then go to the next level, which isn't about just doing things comfortably or uncomfortably, but about doing things in a creative, dare I say, artistic way. You've heard me say it before, every problem on the GMAT has several solution paths. So identifying new creative solution paths is the core of your preparation. And practicing these new techniques is where you're going to spend the bulk of your time. So what this means for when you start your GMAT prep is that you don't want to get in the zone of just reviewing the notes, reviewing the rules, or even doing sets of 10 problems and just doing them immediately and seeing what was right, what was wrong, or taking a practice test and seeing what your score is. Those are things for much later. You want to do problems, but the focus is, how did I perform on the problem? What did I learn from this problem? And if you're looking at your score in the first few weeks of the preparation, your focus is already off. So I hope this helps, guys. And if you have any questions, write them below, subscribe to our channel, and visit us anytime at ApexGMAT.com.